everyone. Today we are going to study a whole mind map of chapter the diversity in living organism. First of all, the whole living world is divided into organisms. So organisms are firstly divided into prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells means pro means primitive type, means they have no defined nucleus and a scattered nucleus. So, and eukaryotic means have well-defined nucleus with a nucleoid in that. So, prokaryotic unicellular organism is known as Monera, which is basically bacteria. All types of bacteria are grouped in Monera. So, examples of bacteria are lactobacillus bacteria, cyanobacteria, etc. So, lactobacillus bacteria helps in making us curds, and cyanobacteria are the photosynthetic bacteria, which is also known as blue-green algae. Now, Monera's cell wall is made up of peptoglycan. This is a very important question. Now, moving to next is eukaryotic cells. So, eukaryotic cells are further divided into two types, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular organisms are those organisms with only one cell in them, and multicellular organisms are those organisms which have many cells. So unicellular organism there is only one cell and performs all the life activities that should be needed. So unicellular eukaryotic cell is protista. Some examples of protista is a well-known example that is known as amoeba and paramecium also. So the cell wall of protista is made up of chitin. Now next is multicellular organism. Multicellular organisms are further divided into two types. First is with cell wall and second is without cell wall. So those organisms without cell wall are classified as animals. We will further see the classification of animals also. Then those organisms with cell wall present in their cells is known as fungi and plants. So, with cell wall organisms are also divided into two types, that is, some who perform photosynthesis and other who doesn't perform photosynthesis. So, plants are the organisms which perform photosynthesis and fungi are the organisms which do not perform photosynthesis. Examples of fungi is mold, yeast, mushrooms, etc. Now we will see the classification of plants. So plants are divided into two types. First is differentiated body parts and non-differentiated body parts. So those organisms which have proper differentiated body parts like stem, leaf, roots, etc. are known as those do not have differentiated parts are known as thallophyta. Like Orthrox, Spirogyra, Chara, all the algae type organisms that grow on the water aquatic bodies are known as thallophyta. Now moving to next is differentiated parts. Those have differentiated parts are further divided into two categories, that is vascular tissue and without vascular tissues. What are vascular tissues? Vascular tissues are of two types, that is xylem and phloem. Xylem is the vascular tissue which carries water and phloem carries food in the plants. So plants which do not have vascular tissues or xylem or phloem are known as bryophyta. Examples are Riccia and Funaria. Now next is vascular tissues. Those have xylem and phloem present in their body and also differentiated parts are further divided into two parts. First is do not produce seeds and second is produce seed. Those organisms which produce seeds are known as phanerogams and those which do not produce seeds are called pteridophyta. Next, phanerograms are further divided into two parts. First is naked seeds and second is seed inside fruits. Those plants with seeds without any covering of fruit is known as naked seeds and are called as gymnosperms. Examples are pinus and sciurus. Do you know that the world's largest tree is also a gymnosperm? Now next is seed inside fruit. So those plants, those seed which are protected by an outer layer which is also known as fruits are called angiosperms. All the main common fruits that we eat like mango, apple, orange, these seeds are covered with fruits and are called as angiosperms. Now next, angiosperms are divided into two parts. First is one cotyledon and second is two cotyledon. So what is cotyledon? Cotyledon is a storage food of the seed. When the seed is on the growing stage, it has a storage food which provide the plant food. So this is called cotyledon. So those seeds with one cotyledon are called monocots, and those have two cotyledons are called dicot. So this is the whole classification of plants kingdom. Now next is animal kingdom. So animal kingdom is divided into two parts. First is cellular level and second is tissue level. So cellular level organisms are known as porifera. In this, organisms cells are only scattered cells and perform work like spongilla. These are always called as sponges because they have very many pores on their body. They are also known as non-motile organisms because they do not move and are attached to a solid support. They are mainly found in aquatic regions. Now next is tissue level. So tissue level is divided into three parts. First is coelomate, acoelomate and pseudocoelomate. So acoelomate are those organisms which have coelom present in their body. So what is coelom? Coelom is a slimy things which are present in our germinal layers. So acoelomate organisms are those which do not have coelom, and coelomate are those organisms with coelom, and pseudocoelomate means have not defined coelom, or we can say it means they have false coelomate. So those animals with acoelomate are known as Coelenterata and Platyhelminthes. So Coelenterata are those organisms which are like Hydra and sea anemone. Next is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes are mainly flat worms. Those animals which are absolutely flat are known as platyhelminthes. Like liver fluke and tapeworm, etc., are known as platyhelminthes. Now next is pseudocoelomate. So pseudocoelomate is the only group that is nematoda which has false coelom. So examples of nematoda are Ascaris and Wucheria. These are always disease causing worms, and these are round worms present. So Wucheria is also known as filarial worm. Next is coelomate. So coelomate is further divided into single cell and pouches of ectoderm. So in the outer epidermal there are two layers. First is mesoderm and second is ectoderm. So those organisms with mesoderms are Annelida, Mollusca and Arthropoda. Annelida examples are like earthworm. These organisms have segmented bodies on them, like earthworm, leeches. Next is mollusca. Mollusca organisms are like octopus, silicon, etc. And arthropoda is all the group of insect are covered in the arthropoda. Arthropoda means jointed legs. So all insect are in the arthropoda. Now arthropoda is also known as the largest phylum of the animal kingdom. Next is pouches of ectoderm. Those have ectoderms are further divided into two parts. First is notochord absent and second is notochord present. So notochord is a straight backbone-like structure present in the organisms. So those organisms with notochord present are known as chordata and with absent are known as echinodermata. So example of echinodermata is starfish. And the example of chordata are vertebrates and protochordata. So this is also divided into vertebrate and protochordata. So vertebrate means the chordata or notochord is present at the adult stage in these organisms. And protocod means the notochord is present in them at their larval stage. Now, vertebrata are further divided into six kingdoms, that is, Sclytoplasm, species, amphibians, reptilia, apes, and mammals. So, Scitoplastomata is those organisms which are jawless, like eels, and have slimy bodies. For example, hagfish, lamprey, etc. Next is species. All kinds of fishes are covered in the species. They have scaly skeleton, and examples are rohu, hagfish, etc. Next is amphibians. Amphibians are those animals which have gills in the larva stage and lungs in their adult stage. They have slimy body, and examples are toad, frog, slender, etc. Next is reptiles. Reptiles are those organisms like snakes, turtle, crocodiles, etc., which crawl on the crawl, and they lay eggs outside the water and have scales on their body. Next is apes. All the kinds of bird, flightless and with flight, are in the kingdom apes. So these special qualities are they have feathers and they can fly. Now next is mammals. Mammals are warm-blooded animals and has hair on their body and also give birth to the animals. So examples of mammals are human being, birds, human being, cats, and dog, etc. So this is the whole mind map of this chapter, diversity in living organisms.